because the speculators pushed it up to a price that exceeded its value. The value of the network today is around 30,000. We got to 67. That was too high. Now we're at 20. That's too low. We'll go back to 30, and then we'll start the whole process over again. So we're in spring, and spring, 9-ish months, right? If you think about the 4-year cycle, it's broken up into 3 pieces, about 15 months, 9 months, 15 months, 9 months, winter, spring, summer, and fall. And, winter is the downdraft. Spring is kind of the consolidation. Summer is liftoff. And then fall is kind of that parabolic craziness, right? That last where all the leveraged speculators and the gamblers come in and we go way above fair value to set up for the new winter. And so spring is more likely bouncing around with an upward bias. So, when I say a face melter, I mean, we could go from 1920 back to 25 in a hurry. Right? It's a 25% move, but it would happen fast.
Got it.
Then we probably consolidate a little more, and it's probably sometime, I'm going to call it March next year, when we get into summer, and then we start heading back for new highs. And by the end of next year, right in anticipation of the next halving, I think we could see a really big FOMO move. And the thing people forget about Bitcoin in particular, it's a very illiquid market, right? The hodlers control the vast majority of coins, and they're not selling at any price. They're not buying it at any price. In fact, some of them probably lost their keys. No, I'm just kidding. Like the Satoshi wallet. I mean, that probably, I'll say it. I don't think it'll ever move, right? I believe that it was a multi-sig and that one of the people's passed, maybe two, and that it'll never move. But as Satoshi himself, they said, consider it a donation to the rest of the community when, coins get lost or stolen. Data is way more important than narratives, right? And, one of the problems, human beings are wired in a funny way, right? We tend to form beliefs backwards. So the way we normally work is we're given our belief by our parents, by the media, by our friends, by conventional wisdom. And then we gather data that supports our view and reject all data that's against our view. We just pretend it's not there. And we should actually do the opposite, right? We should actually gather data about an idea, sit on it, think about it, ruminate, and then form a belief. Rather than, being convinced that you're right and everyone else is wrong, how about you consider all sides of an issue and then think about it and say, yes, I believe this. And I think the same thing is true with markets, is the narrative is crypto's dead again. And, you got the people, the Peter Schiffs, et cetera, say, I told you it was going to zero. It was going to zero. We're still not at zero. And we're never going to zero. I mean, that's the thing that gets lost in the translation, is this is a technological evolution, the same as the internet, the same as the mobile net. The truth net is real, right? We will have a system where all value is transacted on blockchains. Just all of it. And that's not good, bad, or indifferent. That just is. Yeah. And it's because that technology is superior to databases and centralized services. The inevitability of blockchain as a superior technology to databases is incontrovertible. We said, no, it's just a fancy database. Like, well, right, for certain applications it is, but for other applications like money, right? Gold, money, the only money in the world, everything else is currency or credit. But money, been around 5,000 years. It's really heavy. It's really hard to divide. If I had a bar of gold, I wanted to break it in half and give you half. Hard to break it in half. Really hard to stuff it into my computer and have it come through the internet to your office. Not going to happen. But I can send you Bitcoin with a couple touches of a button. So it's more divisible, it's more portable, it's more transmissible, and it's just better because it's a permanent immutable ledger where each token that any of us own, just a digital property right. So anything that's titleable, money, assets, businesses, art, collectibles, marriage licenses, driver's licenses, property titles, anything. Negative sells everything. Yeah. And it's really kind of sad. And, because positivity wins. I mean, you think about positivity and optimism are the cause of all progress. And a little bit of irrationality. You have to be optimistic to say, you know what, I can create a better money. Say, it's just a scam, it's just a Ponzi. Okay, but why not cheer on innovation? Why not invest in innovation? Why not benefit from it? Look, my pinned tweet, the greatest wealth in the world, full stop, is created by investing in innovation. Investing in something you believe in before others even understand it. And yes, you'll be mocked, you'll be ridiculed, you'll be chastised for your non-consensus actions, but it's totally worth it. And I just don't get why anyone would want to live any other way, right? I mean, the Bitcoin blockchain could replace all of this 60-year-old technology that we all use every day, ACH and Fedwire and Swift. It's bad technology, old, doesn't work very well. It's not very flexible, breaks down, and Visa runs on a mainframe. Bitcoin blockchain is faster, stronger, better, can't be hacked. How many times you had to change your Visa card because Visa got hacked? A lot. Amazon and Bitcoin have the exact same volatility, 80%. Every single year for 26 years, Amazon has gone down double digits. On average, in a single year, it goes down 31%. Went down 39% this year. Every single year. So every single year, you have the risk of losing a third of your money if you sell. But when was the right time to sell? Never.
Yeah.
But who actually bought it 26 years ago and holds it today? 5 people in the whole world. Right. Jeff, mom, dad, ex-wife, because she got half of his, and Bill Miller, who bought at the IPO. No one else could handle that volatility. So when people talk about hodling or hodling, however you want to pronounce it, insurance, it takes guts, right? It takes stamina, and it takes an ability to not watch the day-to-day volatility and understand that I have a t-shirt. I used to wear it all the time. Embrace volatility. Volatility is our friend. Volatility is what makes the world go round. It's what innovation drives. In fact, I tweeted out a couple hours ago a picture from 1971 of prices. And you look at today, and those numbers are vastly different. Why? Not because those things got better. An egg is still an egg. A car is still a car. It's because the money got worse.
Yeah.
And when your money gets worse because the Fed keeps printing it, the value of a store of value, gold, since 1971, gold's up a lot.
Yeah.
Why? Well, because we went off the gold standard, went to a fiat standard, which meant we could destroy the value of our currency for political expediency. And that's the whole purpose. Back to the Fed. The Fed's owned by the banks. It's not owned by the people. It's not federal. It's not owned by the government. It's owned by the banks. And it's designed to channel the wealth to the top of the pyramid through this stealth tax of inflation. And that's what Bitcoin solves, because one Bitcoin equals one Bitcoin.
Yep.
Forever and always. But Bitcoin isn't priced in Bitcoin. It's priced in currencies. So in dollars, it goes like this. In bolivars, it only goes up. In rupee, not rupee, in pesos, Argentinian pesos, it only goes up. In Turkish lira, it only goes up. Why? Because those dictators have turned their currencies into toilet paper, literally down 99.99%. And so if you opted out, not with all of your wealth, with a portion of your wealth, you survived. And the same thing happens today in the US. We are following that same playbook, devaluing our currency at record levels. And if you opted out, right, here's the thing. Over the last 2 years, we printed half of the money that's ever existed in our republic, 246 years.
Yeah.
Which means a store of value should have gone up 100%. Bitcoin over the last 2 years is up exactly 100%. But market's down since November. Michael, because the speculators pushed it up to a price that exceeded its value. The value of the network today is around 30,000. We got to 67. That was too high. Now we're at 20. That's too low. We'll go back to 30 and then we'll start the whole process over again. What they do isn't going to change inflation. The bulk of that inflation number, that CPI number, was two things: oil prices and used car prices. Used car prices have already started to come down. They've been negative 4 months in a row. So those will go away, right? The supply chain will get fixed. I'll be able to get my new Kia eventually, and that'll get fixed. Oil prices are going to come down. Mark my words, by November, whatever day the election is, gas will be sub $3. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. It will be sub $3. And that's because there's a perfect inverse correlation between presidential popularity and gas prices. And so all of that will lead to a point where we'll look back a year from now and inflation probably will be back down into the 2-3% range because of all the bad policies of the post-COVID world have put such pressure on small business that they have to raise prices, like dentists and nail salons and restaurants all have to raise prices to deal with the fact that they just got crushed.